Okay, so today we're doing a tag video because I was tagged, because my brain is mush, and well, maybe this is the worst decision because I have not prepared for this tag. So this is very much I'm going to read the prompt and do my best on the fly, which is kind of standard how I do my tags, but I've been trying to be a little bit more prepared. And Jessie from The Bookish Mom, one of the co-hosts to the Shardathon Readathon, tagged me and the other hosts in, so I figured I'd do it. It's fun. I've been meaning to do a Cosmere related book tag for a really long time and just haven't. I love the Cosmere. I have a Cosmere ranking video where I rank all the books that I've read in the Cosmere. I love the Cosmere. I'm like rereading Well of Ascension for like the 4th time right now. But let's get into it. Question 1, Elantris, a book or series where the magic fails its people. All right, so this took me a long time to think about. I'm probably cutting out 3 minutes of me staring and rambling, but I'm settling on City of Stairs by Robert Jackson Bennett, the first book in the Divine Cities trilogy. These books I really like. They're like my pleasure reads. Like they remind me of like action movies or mystery novels, but with fantasy. I really like them, but the whole like idea of this world is there was this continent and it used to have magic and gods, but after this war, the gods were no longer there. And this whole city ran on magical miracles and they're gone. So it all just descended into not madness, but like there are whole buildings that disappeared. There are stairs that lead to nowhere. Their whole like parts of their infrastructure was so heavily based on magic that they have been set back decades in terms of technology compared to this other island. So that's what I'm going to pick because that feels like the right answer to this question. Number 2, Mistborn, your favorite ragtag gang. I do love found family, and I'm going to be pretty biased right now because I am reading this book, so it's like it's on the brain. But there's the Catnet series by Naomi Kritzer, I think. The first book's Catfishing on Catnet, you know, the one young adult book I scream at you guys about to read all the time. In this book, there is this chat room online, and you are put into clouders, which means a group of cats. And the clouder for this friend group, I would read a whole book, no plot, no tension, nothing like that, just listening to them chat to each other all the time. They are so supportive. They are so wacky. They just have these great conversations and like fall down these rabbit holes of questions. And like I said, I love how supportive they are, but I also love how individual these people are. I love the clouder. So that's what I'm going to call them. And like I said, I'm a little biased. They're like on my mind right now. And they're like my favorite found family group of people. I just love them so much. They really make that series for me. Just like every time there's a clouder chapter, I'm just like, yes. It's so good. Number 3, Warbreaker, an interesting family dynamic. Okay. I'm going to go with the Inheritance trilogy by N.K. Jemisin for a couple reasons. Because now that I'm thinking about it, family is a huge part of a lot of the drama and themes of this story. Not that I'm very good about talking about this trilogy at all. It's a very hard trilogy to talk about. But you kind of start with this, our main character, who I'm forgetting her name at the moment because I am horrible at names. I'll put on the screen. But she is being sent to the kingdom in the sky, like the central point of the 100,000 kingdoms, because I think her grandfather is like, I am naming you heir. But like he had kind of disowned her mom and there are other heirs and it leads to this sort of weird political competition, but it's not going to end well. But also there are these gods, and these gods are also their own family, kind of like Greek mythology or anything like that, where there are like higher level gods who then gave birth to other gods. And there is a lot of family drama there. Like a lot. It's actually very important how that family drama plays out. So that's what I'm going to say. I really need to reread that trilogy because just thinking about it, I'm just like, oh, there's so many things that are going to be so cool to unpack, knowing where things go. It's a very hard trilogy for me to talk about. I find it way easier to describe the plot of The Way of Kings than I do describing the plot of 100,000 Kingdoms. But that's what I'm picking because there are some weird family dynamics, and they are actually quite critical to the plot of the book. Number 4, Stormlight Archive, the biggest book you've read and the biggest book on your TBR. Well, the biggest books I've read are Stormlight Archive books, hands down. Like the most recent one is less pages than Oathbringer, but more words. I don't know, but for sure, the biggest book on my TBR right now that I own, that I need to read next, is Memories of Ice, which, don't let it fool you, it seems like a reasonably sized book, but it is 900 some pages. This is so small for 900 pages. But that is what it is. So I think on my current TBR of books I have not read, that's the biggest one. And also, if you are curious about any of my Malazan thoughts up to now, I have spoiler-free reviews, I have spoiler vlogs, I will link a playlist up in the cards. It is a really weird fantasy series, but I am pretty much enjoying my time. It's super unique, and for sure not for everyone. And I'm just glad that it's been an enjoyable experience so far. Number 5, Aloe Era. A series continuation, or prequel or sequel, you didn't like as much as the original. All right, so I think the answer for this is, so there's the Hyperion Cantos by Dan Simmons. It's this 4-book massive space opera. The first 2 books are Hyperion, Fall of Hyperion, and then there's 2 other books that are Endymion, I think that's how you say it, and The Rise of Endymion. I can't say the words. And I like all 4 books, and I like the 2 duologies in a vacuum, but I do not like them all together. And I do think I like the first duology more than the second duology, mainly because, and I think there are other friends of mine who think this, I do not like when authors continue series or like do an offshoot, but they then softly retcon something in the original. And I'm like, no, don't touch that. Don't do that. And he lightly does that. And at least I did not like it when I first read it. We'll see on reread how I feel. Another one that I was just thinking about is the the Red Rising saga. I really liked the first trilogy. It was such quick, action-packed sci-fi. It was great, bingeable, could not put it down. And I think that was a large reason why I liked it. Like, it was just so many oh shit moments and just everything like that. I really liked it. But then I read Iron Gold and Dark Age, and I liked Iron Gold. I thought it was long, and I think it was good to have more point of views, but I was like trying to just get my bearings. And then Dark Age was dark. It was so dark. But because I expected these to be as bingeable as the first trilogy, I read Dark Age on vacation, and that was not the place for me to read it, but I had read the original trilogy on vacation. So I had these wrong expectations. So hopefully on a reread and knowing what I'm getting into, I'll like the second part of the saga more. And I also do think how it sticks at the landing with the third book whenever it comes out is really going to solidify if I like the second set of books the same or more than the first. But as of right now, because of my expectations and how I read them, I haven't loved Iron Gold and Dark Age nearly as much as I liked the original trilogy. And I do think it's because I really loved the nonstop action, oh my goodness moments that trilogy had. And although we still have a lot of moments in the second part, they aren't as strong, or it's not as bingeable. There's a lot of downtime. There's significantly more downtime. And although I don't mind that in my books, I wasn't expecting it, I think. And I think that was the biggest problem for me. Number 6, White Sand. An underdog you root for. What does this mean? An underdog I root for. Every underdog. I'm from Cleveland. Every underdog. I'm trying to think in terms of a book. Who is an underdog that I root for? I don't know. I don't know. I guess, no, I'm not going to list a Sanderson book for this. That would be, I think, against the point of this whole thing. What is this about? What does this question mean? I don't know if this counts, but I'm going to say Vasya from the Winternight trilogy. Is she an underdog? I don't know. She's a woman in the 14th century Russia, and that's a hard place to be. And she's trying to just save the day. I feel like she's got a lot of stuff stacked against her there from a societal perspective, and also just a whole even magic perspective. I'm gonna say she's an underdog, and I do root for her. That's one of my joys in that series is reading her adventures and being oh, you go, or I get really stressed when things are bad for her. A lot of my emotions are tied around Vasya's successes or not. So I think, I don't know what this question means. Number 7, Arcanum Unbounded, your favorite anthology. You guys know this one. It's Exhalation by Ted Chiang. It's one of the only 5-star anthologies that I've read. I love it. I love it so much. I have a very old review on it. From way back, at my old place with weird lighting. I stand by all the words that I've said. Oh, I love it. I love it so much. I love that he takes the kind of philosophical sci-fi genre, the let's think about this condition in humanity, but use technology to unpack that. I love his approach to that. He only writes short stories. I think he's a master at that craft. I remember being sucked into his stories like so much. And that doesn't happen to me that often. Like I love short stories. I read probably more than your average booktuber, but that collection, man, stole my heart. Ryan owns a copy. I bought myself a copy because he wouldn't let me have his and I needed my own. So I think that one. And then like a runner-up, I think I have it behind me, but it's Her Body and Other Parties by Carmen Maria Machado. That one's more like a creepy one. Like the other one's sci-fi and this one's more like a creepy, speculative, feminist work of fiction, and I really like it. Number 8, Investiture, coolest magic system. That's unfair. I read so many cool magic systems. Coolest? Okay, so let's assume I can't use a Cosmere magic system, right? Because that's cheating. But the real answer would be, like, I am in love with everything that happens in the Stormlight Archive and the Cosmere in general. It's based in quantum mechanics and physical sciences. I love it. Okay, if you want to see my love for it and you've read Rhythm of War, I have a Rhythm of War vlog where literally I spend a good 10 minutes hypothesizing and geeking out about a very specific portion of the magic system. So like that's the true answer. But let's assume I'm not supposed to use a Cosmere work for this. Let's assume. Coolest. Okay, I'm cheating because it's not going to be magic, but it feels like magic, which is why I think it's so cool. And that's the sci-fi elements in Machineries of Empire, with how math is used to create these, they're called exotic effects, and how vibrant those effects are and how weird they are and how they're so imaginative. I think that's so cool. It's one of the things I loved when I first read that series. I'm like, I don't know what you're doing, but it looks really cool. And I guess similarly, so far, the Malazan magic system has been really interesting to me. It feels like it's not quite hard, like it's probably medium to soft, but as I've learned about how it works and all of the creatures and everything, it's so cool. Like, so many cool things happen. Like, that's probably one of my favorite things, is that even though that's a very dense series for me, so many cool things happen. So yeah, I think if I had to choose a fantasy one, I guess Malazan, because that is one of the things that I'm liking about it, is the world building and the magic and how that's explained. And I like Machineries of Empire's sci-fi system because it's just so cool. It's just so cool. Number 9, Shadesmar, a book with alternate realms. The City We Became by N.K. Jemisin. I always forget that. It's not like a big part of the story, but it actually kind of is a big part of the story. Like there definitely are alternate realms, but you spend most of your time in one realm. So it might not be like the strongest answer for this. Oh, the strongest answer for this is his Dark Materials, actually. Yeah, either one of those. I love them both. I love his Dark Materials more, but yeah, both 5-star reads, so you know. Number 10, who do I tag? Anyone who's doing the Shardathon Readathon, you're tagged. Especially if you're on my team, you are extra tagged. And I do know some people who are doing this. So we've got Leslie from the Nerdy Narrative. So I am tagging you, Leslie. You also love the Cosmere, so like, yeah. I'm also going to tag people who did the Stormalong read-along last year, which if you guys weren't around, they did this whole read-through of the Stormlight Archive. So Michael Knipp, Ryan's from Seeking Stories. I'm forgetting everyone's names, but I'm going to link them all below. But there's Christy from, oh gosh, a Russian author's name in space, Dostoyevsky. That's my best attempt. And I'm forgetting, it's the musical. Her name is like a musical channel name, and she's so cool. She like plays music on her channel. She like makes songs for characters, and I am blanking on her name. I'm going to look. So give me a second. She posted a video recently, and it was her TBR, and I haven't watched it yet, but it's on my watch later. I can do this. A Musical Bookworm. All right, so you're all tagged because you guys love the Cosmere. And yeah, anyone else, honestly. It's a kind of an old tag. I'll obviously have the original and Jesse's down below. I had fun doing it. I don't know how long this video will actually be because I paused a lot. So the time I see is not the time you're going to see, and put some stars or like a universal sort of thing, like, you know, like the universe, the Cosmere, as the emoji if you just want to leave one. If you want to answer the questions, you can answer them down in the comments, or you can go to my Discord and we can talk about it there. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And otherwise, like if you liked it, subscribe if you want to, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.